Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into the secret sauce of storytelling, the hidden tools that give great stories their real power.
So what is it that gives a story its power? It's way more than just the words on the page, right? The best stories, the ones that really stick with you, are just packed with these hidden layers of meaning. And authors, well, they use special tools to build that depth. And today, we're unlocking two of the most powerful ones out there: symbolism and irony.
Okay, so to really see how these tools work, we're going to jump into an amazing piece of short fiction, Alice Walker's Everyday Use. It's this incredible story about a family reunion that, well, let's just say it brings a whole lot of conflict over culture, identity, and heritage right to a boiling point. All right, so picture this: a simple, quiet country home. We meet our narrator, Mama, and her younger daughter, Maggie. Now, Maggie's pretty shy, and she's been scarred from a house fire that happened years ago. And they're both waiting for the family's bright star to come home. That's the older daughter, Dee. She's the one who went off to college, saw the world. So right away, the stage is set for this really powerful contrast.
And man, the story just immediately slams you with the contrast between these two sisters. You've got Maggie, who's described as walking with her chin on chest, eyes on ground. You can just feel how she's weighed down by her past. But Dee, she's the total opposite. The story says she held life always in the palm of one hand and would look anyone in the eye. And look, this isn't just about personality, right? This is a clash of two completely different ways of seeing the world.
So when Dee finally shows up, she makes his huge entrance. It's not just her clothes, it's a whole new identity. She tells her mom that Dee is dead. She now goes by Wangero Liwankika Kamanjo. She says she's on this mission to connect with her African roots, but her family is kind of left scratching their heads, wondering what this all really means.
Okay, so this brings us to the heart of the conflict, the one thing that makes everything just erupt. And it's all over a couple of seemingly simple objects: two handmade family quilts. But here's the thing: these are not just blankets. Not at all. They are literally the family's living history. I mean, they're stitched together from scraps of clothing worn by generations, a piece of a Civil War uniform, bits of Grandma Dee's dresses. Every single patch has a story.
And this is our first big literary tool, symbolism. It's pretty simple, really. A symbol is just an ordinary object that takes on a much, much bigger meaning. So in the story, the quilts, they're not just fabric. They are a symbol of the family's entire history and heritage.
So the quilts mean heritage to everyone, right? Well, yes, but the meaning of that heritage is where everything falls apart. See, for Mama and Maggie, those quilts are part of a living tradition. They're meant for everyday use, to be part of life. But for Dee, or Wanjero, they're priceless artifacts, art pieces to be hung on a wall and just looked at. I mean, this one exchange just says it all. Mama asks Dee what she'd do with them. Her answer? Hang them. That's it. Her whole idea is to freeze them in time, take them completely out of the life they were made for. For her, heritage is something you collect, not something you live. But then you get Maggie's response. It's quiet, but wow, is it powerful. She says, "I can remember Grandma Dee without the quilts." See, Maggie is the one who actually knows how to quilt, who learned from her grandma. She gets that heritage isn't stuck inside an object. It lives in your memory, in your hands, in that connection. She literally carries her history inside of her.
So this whole fight over the quilts, it does more than just show us their different ideas about heritage. It actually pulls back the curtain on this deep, powerful irony right at the heart of Dee's new identity.
So Dee explains why she changed her name, right? She says she couldn't bear it any longer, being named after the people who oppress me. In her mind, her birth name came from slave owners, and changing it is this huge, righteous act of reclaiming who she is.
And here's where the irony just hits you like a ton of bricks. Because as Mama points out, Dee wasn't the name of some oppressor. It was a family name passed down from her Aunt Dicey and Grandma Dee before that, the very women she thinks she's honoring. So in her big effort to connect with a faraway heritage, she's accidentally cut herself off from the one that's right in front of her. And bam, this is a perfect example of our second big tool, dramatic irony. This is when we, the audience, know something a character doesn't. We can see the whole picture, the truth about Dee's name, but she's totally blind to it. And that gap between what we know and what she thinks she knows, that's what creates so much of the tension in the story. It all comes to a head with her final words to her mother. As she's leaving, she says, "You just don't understand. Your heritage." And while the irony is just dripping from that line,
She's accusing them of not getting it, when the entire story has shown us that maybe, just maybe, she's the one with the shallowest understanding of all.
Okay, so after all that family drama, what's the big takeaway here? What can we learn from everyday use and these really cool literary tools?
Well, by using the quilts as a symbol and Dee's name as a source of irony, Alice Walker gets us to think about a really profound theme, the difference between lived heritage and, well, performed heritage. Is heritage something that's woven to your daily life, like it is for Mama and Maggie? Or is it something you put on, like a costume, something you put on display, like it is for Dee?
And that's really the power of these tools, you see. Symbolism and irony aren't just fancy tricks authors use to sound smart. They are literally the keys that unlock the deeper meaning of a story. And once you learn how to spot them, you're not just reading anymore. You're reading on a completely different level.
So, in the end, everyday use leaves us with this huge question that goes way beyond this one family's front yard. It's a question for all of us, really. Is your heritage something you keep behind glass, something to be preserved? Or is it something you use, something you live with every single day?